Have you ever tried to count how many hours of your life you lose looking for things that disappeared in the mess? That panic of being late and not finding your keys, your phone, or your documents. I used to live like that. I tried to do everything at once, postpone things, and then it turned into never. My house? A minefield of objects. Until I discovered something surprising. 15 minutes a day. Just that. This time, used the right way, completely changed my routine. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn any messy house into a peaceful place with just 15 minutes a day. I'm not talking about deep cleaning or throwing everything away. I'm talking about a practical and simple system that anyone can do, even with a busy schedule. This is the secret I learned from the Japanese organizing method that revolutionized my life. Do you remember the last time you opened a closet and something fell on your head? Or when you picked up a shirt and realized you had 3 more just like it hidden away? I used to live like that. I accumulated so much that I didn't even know what I had. I bought duplicate items and lost other important ones. I spent money needlessly. Everything started to change when I understood that the problem wasn't a lack of space or time. It was a lack of a system. The Japanese way of organizing your home is simple. Just a little bit every day, without excess, without complicating things. The secret is to divide your home into small areas and dedicate just 15 minutes a day to one of them. No more than that. When the timer goes off, you stop, even if you haven't finished. The next day, you pick up where you left off or move on to another area. This way, it doesn't become tiresome, you won't lose motivation, and little by little, everything will fall into place. Let's start with the basics. Items you use every day should be within arm's reach. Those you use once a month can be stored away. And what about the ones you haven't used in over a year? You probably don't need them. In my kitchen, for example, the cups I use daily are on the top shelf of the cabinet. The special ones, which only come out when I have guests, are pushed further back. And what about those cups I received as gifts but have never used? I donated them without a second thought. The same goes for my closet. I divided things by season and how often I wear them. The clothes I wear every week are at eye level. The winter clothes, during the summer, are stored in boxes under the bed. And those pants that haven't fit me in years, they're gone. The idea isn't to have very few things, it's to have just enough, knowing exactly what you have and where it is. This saves time, money, and prevents the frustration of not being able to find anything. The 15-minute technique works because it breaks down organization into small, manageable tasks. On Monday, I dedicate that time to the bathroom. On Tuesday, to the kitchen. On Wednesday, to the bedroom. And so on. Before I know it, I've gone through the entire house in a week without the exhaustion of trying to do everything all at once. Let me tell you about my first day using this method. I chose to start with the kitchen drawer, that infamous junk drawer everyone has. I set my phone timer for 15 minutes and got started. I emptied everything out, sorting it into 3 groups: keep, relocate, and toss. Just from that drawer, I found 5 can openers. Why did I have so many? Manuals for appliances that no longer existed, and batteries that were dead. The next day, I moved on to another drawer. And then another. In a week, my entire kitchen was organized without me having to dedicate a whole day to it. The feeling of opening a cabinet and finding everything in place is indescribable. The same happened with my workspace. Before, I wasted time searching for important documents among piles and piles of paper. Now, I have a system. Every piece of paper that comes into my home has an immediate destination. I either file it in a specific folder, scan and discard it, or resolve it on the spot. Nothing gets piled up. The hardest part was learning to say goodbye to things. I used to hold on to items just in case, out of attachment, or because it might be useful one day. But the truth is that one day rarely came, and I just kept accumulating more and more. That's when I adopted the Japanese questioning rule. Does this bring me utility or joy? If the answer is no to both questions, it's time to thank it and let it go. Yes, thank it. Even if it seems strange, I mentally thank the object for the time it spent with me and what it provided. This reduces the guilt of getting rid of it. A practical example. I had a collection of magazines I had kept for years. They took up an entire shelf, collected dust, and I rarely flipped through them. I took 15 minutes to review some of them. I set aside specific articles I wanted to keep, photographed some interesting pages, and donated the rest. Now I only have the content that truly matters, taking up much less space. Something that works really well for me is the one-in, one-out system. Every time I buy something new, whether it's a piece of clothing, a kitchen gadget, or a book, something similar has to go out. This maintains balance and makes me think twice before making impulsive purchases. The areas that tend to accumulate clutter are usually the transition zones. That bench where you throw your bag upon arrival, the entryway table where you put your mail, the corner of the bedroom where you leave the clothes you wore but aren't dirty enough to wash. Identifying these areas and creating specific solutions for them makes all the difference. At the entrance of my house, for example, I installed hooks for keys and bags, a small basket for mail, and a bench with a compartment for shoes. Everything stays organized as soon as I come in, and it doesn't spread throughout the rest of the house. Another tip that changed my life was the complete circuit technique. Before leaving a room, I look around and check if I'm leaving anything out of place. If I am, I take it with me and put it away on my way out. This prevents that gradual accumulation that, when you finally notice, has already turned into a huge mess. Learning to fold clothes the right way was also revolutionary. Instead of stacking them, I fold the items so they stand upright in the drawers, like files. This way, I can see everything at once without having to dismantle the stack to find that specific t-shirt. The drawers no longer get messy after I take out a piece from the middle. And what about kids? If you have children, you know they can be experts at spreading toys all over the house. The solution I found was to create specific zones with colored bins and labeled drawings, so even the little ones can help with the cleanup. 15 minutes before bedtime, we play a game of cleaning up together. Making organization fun makes all the difference. In the kitchen cabinets, I use dividers and clear bins to group similar items together. Spices stay together, as do baking utensils and coffee products. When I need something, I know exactly where it is without having to rummage through several drawers. In the bathroom, I eliminated unnecessary packaging. I transferred shampoos and conditioners into simple dispensers, which not only organized the space but also gave it a nicer look. Products I use daily are within reach, while the occasional ones are stored in the cabinet. For papers, I created a system of 3 folders: Action, Bills to pay, Forms to fill out, Archive, Important documents to keep, and Reading, articles or newsletters to read when I have time. Any correspondence that arrives goes straight into one of these folders, avoiding those endless piles. Another important discovery: small boxes work wonders. I use them inside drawers to separate socks, in the medicine cabinet to categorize by type, and in the pantry to group similar foods. They contain the migration of items and keep everything visible. The issue of organization goes beyond physical space. It also affects how we manage our time. When our home is in order, we spend less time searching for things and more time living. Those 15 minutes a day we invest in organization give us back hours throughout the week. An unexpected benefit has been cost savings. When we know exactly what we have and where it is, we stop buying duplicate items. I discovered I had 3 packs of new pens stored in different places while continuing to buy more because I couldn't find any when I needed them. Some practical tips I learned from the Japanese method: use vertical space, hooks on the inside of cabinet doors, shelves all the way up to the ceiling, hanging organizers. This significantly increases storage space without occupying more floor area. I've also adopted the habit of doing a quick check before bed. I take just 5 minutes to walk around the house and put away anything that's been left out of place during the day. That way, I wake up to an organized environment, which starts my day with more tranquility. One of the most challenging areas for many people is the workspace. My solution was to simplify it as much as possible. Only the essentials remain on the desk. Everything else has specific places in drawers and nearby shelves, organized by frequency of use. At the end of the day, I take 2 minutes to clean the desk and prepare the space for the next day. Cables and wires were also a constant issue. I adopted specific organizers, labeled each one, and kept together those that are used in tandem. No more knots and tangles when I need to charge something. In the pantry, I organize food by type and expiration date, placing items that expire first towards the front. This has drastically reduced waste at home. Before going shopping, I take a photo of the pantry and refrigerator to avoid buying what I already have. For seasonal items, like Christmas decorations or winter clothes during the summer, I use labeled transparent boxes stored in less accessible areas of the house. When the season changes, I do the swap in 15-minute sessions over a few days, avoiding the fatigue of trying to do it all at once. In the wardrobe, my favorite technique is seasonal review. With each change of season, I dedicate a few days, always in 15-minute sessions, to review the clothes from the previous season. Anything I didn't wear throughout the season can probably be donated. Another simple trick is the hanger flip rule. At the beginning of the season, I place all the hangers facing the same way. As I wear items, I turn the hanger around when I put it back. At the end of the season, it's easy to identify what hasn't been worn. For sentimental items like souvenirs, photos, and cards, I created a memory box for each year. I limit myself to the size of the box. If nothing else fits, I need to review what's truly worth keeping. This avoids the uncontrolled accumulation of sentimental items. Digital photos also need organization. I dedicate 15 minutes each week to transfer photos from my phone to organized folders on my computer, deleting duplicates and low-quality images. Once a month, I back up everything. In the garage or laundry room, I use a zone system: tool zone, gardening zone, cleaning supplies zone, etc. Each item has a designated spot, often marked with outlines or labels, so anyone can return it to the correct place. One interesting discovery is that the easier it is to put something away, the more likely it is to be put away. That's why I've simplified the process of returning things to their place as much as possible. Open baskets, smoothly sliding drawers, clear labels. Laziness doesn't stand a chance when it's easy to do the right thing. I've also learned the importance of adapting the system to my real routine, not to the ideal routine I wish I had. If I know I will never meticulously sort every type of document, then a filing system with 50 categories won't work for me. It's better to have a few broad categories that I actually use. The digital aspect is also important. I spend 15 minutes each week organizing files on my computer, deleting unnecessary emails, and cleaning up my desktop. Digital clutter can be just as stressful as physical clutter. The 15-minute system works because it's not oppressive. It doesn't demand perfection or big changes all at once. It's gradual, respecting your time and energy. And most importantly, when you stop at the designated time, you don't feel guilty about what you didn't manage to do. One of my favorite rooms since I started using this method is my bedroom. Before, it was a dumping ground for everything I didn't know where to store. Now I keep only the essentials: a bed, a nightstand with a lamp and my current book, and a small potted plant. Everything else is stored properly. The feeling of entering an organized room at the end of a long day is indescribable. There are no unnecessary visual distractions, no reminders of pending tasks, just a space that invites relaxation. In the living room, I've adopted the practice of always returning objects to their rightful place before leaving the room. Remote controls have a designated holder on the side table, magazines and books go back on the shelf, and glasses are taken to the kitchen. This prevents the gradual buildup that makes cleaning more burdensome later. For items I receive but am unsure if I will actually use, I created a waiting box. I place them there and mark a date on my calendar, usually 3 months later. If I haven't needed the item by then, it's a sign that I can let it go without regret. Something that also helps a lot is reducing the number of free horizontal surfaces. The more empty space we have on tables and counters, the more we tend to fill it with random things. By intentionally limiting those areas, we naturally curb the tendency to accumulate. One trick I use to stay motivated is taking before and after photos of each area I organize. When I feel unmotivated to continue, I look at those photos and remember the progress I've already made and the good feeling I had when I finished. I've also created a reward system. For every week I complete following the 15-minute plan, I allow myself something special. Whether it's extra time to read, a treat I enjoy, or even buying a small item I've been wanting. Associating pleasure with the habit of organizing makes everything more sustainable. An important part of the process is involving everyone who lives in the house. In the beginning, I did everything alone and got frustrated when others messed up what I had organized. I learned that I needed to create simple systems that everyone could follow and most importantly, explain why each thing has its place. Now, we have a small family meeting each month to review what's working and what needs adjustment. The kids feel part of the process and are much more cooperative when they understand the reason behind the organization. The Japanese method has an interesting take on the ideal amount of belongings. It's not about having the least possible, but rather the right amount for you. If a book collector has hundreds of books, but they are all organized and genuinely appreciated, that's not clutter. It's a conscious collection. For shared spaces, like the living room, we've created a simple rule. When leaving the room, everyone takes at least one item that's out of place. This shares the responsibility for maintenance and avoids that feeling of, I didn't make the mess, so I won't clean it up. I've also learned the importance of setting specific times for particular tasks. Every Friday, for example, I do a deeper clean of the refrigerator before going grocery shopping. On Sunday nights, I get the clothes ready for the week. This routine eliminates last-minute decisions and keeps everything running smoothly. Over time, I've realized that organization is not a final state to be achieved, but rather a continuous practice. It's like brushing your teeth. We don't do it once and consider it done forever. It's a daily habit, simple, that keeps everything working well. The amazing thing is that the more we practice, the easier it becomes. What used to take a full 15 minutes now takes 5, because I've already created systems that work and I have fewer things to manage. The time saved can be invested in activities that really matter. One last tip that transformed my relationship with shopping. Before acquiring something new, I ask myself 3 questions. Do I already have something similar? Do I have a proper place to store this? Will I really use it regularly? If the answer is no to any of these questions, I probably don't need the item. The secret of the 15 daily minutes is precisely this: consistency. It's better to do a little every day than to try to tackle everything at once and give up halfway through. Small actions, repeated consistently, create big changes. And remember, the goal is not to have a house that looks like it came out of a decor magazine. It's about having a space that works for you, that eases your routine, that doesn't consume your time and energy unnecessarily. It's about living more and cleaning less. I started this journey 2 years ago when my house was so cluttered that I was embarrassed to host visitors. Today, I can invite someone over at a moment's notice without panicking. Not because my house is always spotless, but because the mess never reaches uncontrollable levels. If you're feeling overwhelmed by disorganization, start today. Choose a small area, a drawer, a cabinet, a corner of your desk, set a timer for 15 minutes and see what you can accomplish. Tomorrow, do another 15 minutes in a different spot. And so, day by day, you'll see your house transform. The magic isn't in big remodels or buying expensive organizers. It's in the consistency of these small daily sessions and the conscious decision about what truly deserves space in your home and your life. Share this blessed video so that it can reach and help others like you and me. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of our faith community. If you wish to support our channel a bit more, consider becoming a member of our channel. Here are 2 more videos for you to continue your search. Thank you, and may God bless you all. See you soon.